The 3 victims were part of a CXS crew.
Subscribe to First KND. Hey, what is up you guys? It is Iververse and welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach. Today coming at you with the Boom Beach base reviews. I'm going to basically go over your bases to see what they're like. The bases that we're going to be featuring were commented in the last video of the Boom Beach base reviews. They were selected totally at random, so if you guys want to be having a chance of getting your Boom Beach base reviewed, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below with the template that I've set up there. And if you fill that in, you have a chance of actually getting featured as well. But essentially this series is all about defenses and optimizing bases, and I know you guys will be getting something out of this, so that's why I'm doing this. And today I got 3 bases once again. 2 are pretty interesting and the third one I got no idea, because that one is going to be from an attacker perspective, so I'm going to pretend as if I'm going to be attacking that base, so that's going to be pretty interesting as well. Pretty interesting as well. So let's just jump right into this, starting off with actually a member from my own task force, and his name is 2. And he left a comment very early on, so let's see what his base is all about and what we can change and adjust to make it a little bit better. So we're seeing a corner base. Also, he's kind of around my level range, a little bit lower on medals, but that's going to be okay regardless because his headquarters is level 14. And let's see, he has a boom cannon and upgrading right now. It's pretty nicely covered down there. He got the boom cannon level 5, so this is pretty nicely balanced. Let's check out the levels here. 14, 14. Doing nice work there on the upgrades, that's one thing for sure. This one's level 10, but that's gonna be okay. These are all level 9, so I suppose those are next on the agenda to be upgraded. Your rocket launcher level 4, you actually got a statue for 28% building health. That's not bad at all. And we're talking about a triangle, Illuminati confirmed, with the mortars down here. And as you can see, he kind of followed the advice here to have the headquarters down here at the left side a little bit, push a flamethrower in between there, have a couple of mines here. But I did notice a few things here and there that we could do in order to optimize the base a little bit better. So essentially, when it comes down to corner bases, the focus is to protect your base in overall against warriors, because it's an anti-warrior base, but you want to be making sure that the balance is good. So in overall, you want to still protect yourself against a potential heavy Zuka or tanks and medics attack, and the level and metal range in this area makes it pretty hard to defend against tanks and medics, because they literally just pulverize everything. But still, what you want to be doing is kind of scaring them off, because that is also tactics as well. So let's go into the focus here. The one thing that I noticed here is this flamethrower at the top left side. I mean, that flamethrower essentially is completely out of play. That is something that I noticed immediately. Make sure you just place it next to the HQ, because you're going with anti-warrior here. And even if, you know, even if you keep it there, it's not really going to be doing anything. You might want to be adding a mortar there in the mix instead, because a mortar has range, and over here you got heavy Zuka. I don't know, most likely it is just free energy from people who are going to be attacking that. And in general, this location is way more better suited for a mortar in general. So that's one thing that I noticed immediately. It's also kind of a waste for a flamethrower there to have it like situated at the top there. But then again, if it works out for you, then by all means keep it there. It's just what I'm noticing. Then another thing that I'm noticing is the boom cannons in the middle. That's actually okay, because they're covering like a large, they're basically covering the entire base, which I really like to see there. But I still feel they can kind of be adjusted in a way where they're gonna be a little bit more efficient. So going back to the tanks and medics points, you want to be trying to kind of scare them off. So what you want to be doing is have them a little bit close together, but not close enough that a barrage will hit them. So you probably want to be getting rid of the boom cannon next to the HQ, because if people are dropping a barrage on there, it damages the surrounding buildings, and that is also including the mines. So what you want to be doing is like trying to play around with the range of the boom cannon. So you can basically afford to put it here, for example, and that will still like kind of scare the tanks off in a sense as well. And you might want to be like keep it in this area over here, like between the sniper tower and this cannon, and then this sawmill to like this cannon. Keep those two boom cannons in that little area down there, because the coverage on the boom cannons are great, and there's a couple of buildings in front of them which will allow them to kind of like have some defenses before they actually get hit. So that is essentially tactics on the boom cannons as well. Then I feel that your rocket launcher is in an ideal position right there. That is a really great position for sure, and I feel that's gonna be safe down there, no problem there whatsoever. What might be fun to do, but it really depends on the range. Sniper tower. I was thinking about maybe put the sniper tower at the end here, so to kind of protect all of these buildings as well. I don't think it's kind of necessary that much. One thing that I feel you should kind of be working on are your mine placement, because if you have the regular mines a little bit closer to the base, you will have the same effect. But right now, all of these mines, especially these 4, are all going to waste it, because essentially it's kind of to stop the warriors from rushing. And regular mines just don't do a whole lot on the heavy Zuka kind of tactics. So that is my tips for you when it comes down to this base. And overall, I kind of feel that this is a pretty solid base. I'm not sure what this flamethrower will be doing, as in like whenever the warriors are rushing that one, you might want to be like putting a little bit more to the left side. This sniper tower over there, you can still do something with that, maybe like swap it with the machine gun or something like that. But in general, I still think you got a pretty solid base. I'm just not sure what your base defense looks like your activity log and all of that good stuff. But yeah, that is the base of 2. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is also pretty interesting. We're gonna go to a base that's a little bit higher than my own level, so essentially we can learn from that, right? So we're gonna go to Levi Juv, which is the clan called Indian, and they got a lot of task force points, so they're doing really well. Look at the force points here, and we're looking for Preet, because it's an Indian. We're looking for Preet. I'm sorry, man. If I offended you, I apologize. Hey there, Preet, you got a base that is a center base. So this is a center base, and essentially, you know, center bases are, I don't know, symmetrical. They're usually symmetrical, they're usually very balanced, so both sides are equally getting upgraded. A really fun way to mess around with the base like this is by messing up the pathing for the warriors, so that way they don't go in a straight line. That's always something that I wanted to be doing, and I think I'm gonna be making a base based off that as well, but that will be for future material. Let's actually focus on this base right now. So one thing that I noticed when I was taking a look at this base, because I kind of needed some additional time to actually review this base, is that the center is packed. Like, the center is just overpowered, which makes your sides weaker. Believe it or not, if you actually look at the sides are a little bit weaker, and I kind of feel that people aren't really attacking your center anyway, but you might have to correct me on that. I have no idea how the gameplay is above 500 medals, but I can kind of imagine that it's about the same as where I'm at right now. So that's what I'm noticing right now. So what my focus will be on this base will be to tweak the base a little bit so that the center stays strong while you're gonna be strengthening out the sides as well. So the first point I want to be making are your sniper towers over here, these 4 over here. And these sniper towers over here are covering a nice little area down there, but at the left side, and yeah, at the left side especially, it doesn't really feel all that threatening, which is an issue, because I kind of feel that it's actually pretty easy to take down the left side of your base. And I have no idea how your defensive logs are. Like, if you're actually like submitting a request for me to review your base, it would be pretty nice to know from your side which kind of troop combination is attacking you guys a lot, so that way I actually get some insight. So I'm kind of guessing right now. Your towers, I would suppose, place them a little bit more like outside, like place them a little bit more to the left side, so that way more armory, for example, over here can go a little bit more to the left, where you place this sniper tower a little bit even more to the left, because I mean, people are not gonna go through the middle anyway. They got like boom cannons to take into consideration. The rest of the sniper towers, they got this boom cannon and these cannons over here. They're gonna be fine, you know. The center is very nicely protected, but it's just your sides that definitely need a lot of work. Now, I actually came up with something pretty funny, but that might be optional. I have no idea if that's gonna be working out or not, but when I saw this base and whenever I saw this shock launcher over here, I was thinking to myself like, what if you place this shock launcher right where this little golden storage is? Because essentially, you know, I think it would just work really well if I'm thinking about it. Because still, let me actually see what they're gonna be doing. What I would be doing if I were to be placing this shock launcher in the front is I would place it where the gold storage is, maybe even one space back, so towards the sawmill, and place these cannons a little bit more in the front. And the reason why you want to be doing that is so that way the units will target the cannon first. So that is something else. And also, you know, having the shock in the front will still reach the warriors at the base regardless. So, you know, the focus with the shock launcher really is, or the only purpose is to hit the target. So it doesn't really matter where it's located, but I kind of feel it's gonna be more effective in the front of the base rather than at the back of the base, because if people are rushing with the warriors, they're gonna go through here anyway. And if this shock launcher is still kind of reaching the base, then you can only imagine that people need to focus on your flamethrowers, the machine guns, and also the shock launcher over there as well. So and over here at this side, if you have it located here, then people can just drop a shock, like for example in the middle of this little triangle over here, and get the flamethrower and the shock launcher and the machine gun. At least that's how I would be attacking your base. Then there's one last thing I want to be talking about for sure, and that is kind of the mine placement, you know. Mine placement is, I don't know, the mine placement of your regular mines, I kind of feel it's kind of like terrible in a way, and probably has most of the part to do with the fact that I can just rush your base just like that, real easy. And I'm gonna show you guys, I'm actually gonna show you how I'm gonna be doing that. If I were to be attacking your base, I would make the first checkpoint basically this cannon over here. So I would attack from the right side. I would make the first checkpoint this cannon over here. I probably wouldn't even need any like medkits or anything like that to heal up my warriors before I can make it up there. And then from this cannon over there, I would just go to either this rocket launcher or the sniper tower or this mortar over there, and then just go straight to the base. So there's no mines here whatsoever to do a lot of group damage, to like splash damage to the warrior. So that is definitely a weak point that I would work on. So work on your mine placements, because just putting everything in the front there is not really going to be helping you out a lot, unless of course it's going to be tank like riding over the boom mines, and that is like a whole different story. But mines in the front, it can be kind of scary, but in this case I don't really feel that it is all that scary at all. Then there's one last thing that I saw just now, and this machine gun over here. I don't know what you want to be doing with that. It actually is a nice little, it's kind of threatening when you're looking at it, but then again, you know, you might want to be placing it into play a little bit more, but that is just like what I'm thinking about this base. So in general, I do kind of feel that you have a nice base ongoing. Of course, bases is always going to be like this experimenting where whether or not it's going to be working out for you. I just gave you some pointers that you can work with. By no means you have to do what I said, but they're just like things that you can always consider in remaking your base if you want to remake your base. So that being said, let's move on to the last base. And this base was a little bit different. Let me actually read out that message to you that I got from this person. So actually the base we're looking at is going to be at 8Y08 and then QQ, and we're looking for before HOS, and we're looking at Maz, which is the leader. And basically he left me a message saying this: hi Rev, I love your videos. I'm at a similar level. I would really love the feedback on my base as an attacker perspective. I've been trying to compete with you by leveling up, but I lose because I'm not using diamonds. My base is a little bit different than the regular corner bases, so you might want to take a look at this base. So here we are at this base. I'm really curious to know, like, I'm gonna try different type of troop combinations and make some sort of a simulation where I would be attacking. So if we're gonna be going with the warriors over here, for me it's pretty obvious that I would be going with a straight line down here in the middle. There's not a whole lot of mines here that can stop me, and just at the base essentially you got this mine and these 4 mines in total that will just hit me. So 5 mines in the center would hit me, which isn't threatening at all when it comes down to warriors. Now the one thing that I like about this base is the shock launcher here. That shock launcher is gonna be such a pass that it would probably even shock my own units or something like that, just to get the flamethrower and the machine gun, because that's just how I would be working on this base. And I think I would be able to take this base down with just the warriors, because if I drop another shock down here, I'll be getting all of the machine guns, this boom cannon over here, and the only thing that will be like threatening me would be the flamethrower, and I would most likely still have energy left for a medkit, but maybe not. I'm not entirely sure of that. These 2 flamethrowers are useless. Like, if warriors are rushing you, these 2 flamethrowers are useless, and you want to have them into the mix, because, you know, that is actually really essential when it comes down to protecting your base. Next strategy that I'm gonna be using is gonna be tanks and medics. So that simulation is gonna be pretty hard, because for me, you know, tanks and medics isn't my strong point. But the dangerous buildings in tanks and medics is going to be the boom cannons, all of these, and of course also the not the rocket launcher, the cannons. Those are also very annoying. So this shock launcher over here is, I don't know if that's a good location, but if you're taking a closer look down there, I can see that I can shock all of these buildings all together. So that is a bad thing, because that is your last defense on this base, and if you just shock all of these, then this boom cannon will immediately already be gone, and then I will just keep this little area over here shocked. Of course, it's gonna be an issue to deal with these cannons, because once again, you know, one shock will paralyze the both of them, and they won't stand a chance. And then I don't really see where your boom mines are, so let's try to locate them. Is there one over here? Yeah, there's one over here. That is actually not a good location to have a boom mine, because people are just gonna attack from the left and the right side. So I would definitely like place a sniper tower a little bit like on this residence or something like that, because that would essentially be better. It would still protect the same location, and this isn't free energy at all. So you want to definitely swap that with this residence, like sniper tower with residence. Do that right now if you're watching this. That is like my main tip to you already. And then place a boom mine behind that, because that's way more threatening, at least when it comes down to the boom mine. Where's the rest of the boom mines? You see one over here. That location is fine, you know, nothing to worry about. Is there another one over here? I know you got 4 boom mines, so I'm kind of trying to locate them. One over here and one over here. People are not going to be attacking your middle part when you're using the tanks. So, you know, don't put them in the middle, because people are not going to be attacking your middle part. Why would people go on this? Why would people suicide against this? They wouldn't do that. So they're gonna be going for the sneaky path near the forest down there. So place them in the forest too, or at the right side in the forest, so that way people are like, oh snap, I lost a couple of tanks down there. That is definitely like my biggest tip to you. Like, play around with your boom mines, because your boom mines are an asset to your base, because they're very important. Then the last strategy, heavy Zuka. Now, heavy Zuka is kind of like about mortar placement, and you know, heavy Zuka, like, mortars are so annoying against heavy Zuka, because one mortar can take away a whole group of Zuka just like that. So let's see how we would be going. Again, I would go to the left side really, because the left side is actually just the most annoying part down there, and I would probably take out both rocket launchers, well, no biggie down there, and then I will probably keep this shocked. Both sniper towers will keep it shocked. Get all of that energy, because at that time you would have a vault. You'd have 2 sniper towers, rocket launcher, quarry. Hey, I'm seeing 3 stone storage as well. Probably drop another shock onto these 2 cannons again. These 2 cannons, like, separate them from each other, so that way people cannot grab them together. Same thing at this side. Like, if you drop one shock on here, you can get 5 of these buildings, and these buildings are essential. So that's definitely my tip to you. You can actually place this cannon, like, swap it with the stone storage or something like that, because the effect will be the same. Or if you will swap this residence with this cannon or something like that, it will be like less separated, and you can still shock them together, but at least like they're not so obvious. So yeah, I think Maz, like, believe it or not, but I think I will be able to take down your base really easily when I'm analyzing this base and I take my time. I think with heavy Zuka, tanks and medics and warriors, I would be pulverizing your base entirely, because yeah, that's just what I'm feeling. If I'm kind of estimating my own units, I think I will be an ability to do that. But yeah, if you want to be countering tanks, you know, don't have this here. Because you just want to, like, if you have this base, you just want your boom cannons to be spreaded out into your base, because that's a much larger threat than having them near the HQ itself, because that's just the way it is. So yeah, that is just my analyzation of your base. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually did like simulating like different type of base strategies based off whether or not I would be attacking your base, and I took the most popular attacking strategies. Of course, rifleman only is also, but it's very non-generic, and we're looking at the attacks that get you killed most of the time. So that is my Boom Beach base review, episode number 4, I believe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, make sure that if you want your base to be reviewed, to leave a comment in the comment section down below using the template that I got provided. And as always, make sure that if you guys like this video, to boom, give it a thumbs up. That being said, this has been Reversal for Boom Beach. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.